Welcome back to Slaying Sober, where today we have part 2 of Amber's story. If you haven't listened to part 1, you must go back and check it out before you listen to this. This is a continuation of the discussion where we talk more about her addiction to ice, love, and sex, and about her story of recovery and hope. Please enjoy the rest of this conversation with Amber. So we were talking about that you were in this flat, and I asked you whether you felt safe, and you said you did feel safe because you were getting what you wanted out of it.
I didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I felt safe when the drugs were there.
Yeah.
And so that's what made me stay.
Yep.
I didn't feel safe when there was the withdrawing. Now I know what that is called.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, I didn't feel safe when there was no drugs or we weren't able to get on.
Mm. And how long did this last for?
I was staying in Footscray in Flemington Flats for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but in that moment when I looked at myself in the mirror, I went to the bathroom, I had my phone on me, and I made a phone call to my dad.
Yeah.
And I still remember it, and I was like, Dad, I need to get out of here. Please book me an Uber, and I do not want to go back there. And he booked me an Uber, and I got home because in that, like, I smashed up my car. I wasn't safe to be around, really. I was turning into someone that I didn't know who I was. I thought it was who I was meant to be. I got home. And even that, the next couple of days was like, should I call him? Should I go back? And I think I did for a day or something like that, because of those nice words and like, I miss you and all that. And I went back, and that's when it was the drama. I was throwing more water on me and just called every name under the sun. And I was like, I don't deserve this. Why did I go back?
Yeah.
But I had to.
What did your parents say when they first saw you when you walked back in the door out of that Uber?
I can't remember.
No.
I can't remember.
Do you know whether they were relieved or...
They were relieved to have their daughter back, yeah. But they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They'd probably know more from... My dad's seen the video that I've made of my story, the performance.
Yep.
But apart from that, I kept everything else hidden.
Yep.
Because I don't write it down because it gets read, and I tell people it starts rumors and gossip, so I just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And it's kept me alive.
How do you feel about sharing it today?
This is a massive thing, to have a conversation where this is going to get published, and people are not only going to know me, they're going to know my face. They know what I look like. I kind of stand out. I've got blue hair, and I'm like, I've got that face where you can't forget, sort of thing. And that's what also has gotten me into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But I am grateful. I can't hide anything. I can't have a reservation, or I can't think that I might be able to be okay if I, don't tell someone something, or my sponsor, more importantly, because secrets do keep you sick.
Yeah.
For a long time it did. And so I left that relationship, we'll call it. And then I met someone else.
Yep.
And I was getting treated differently.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting treated like getting called a slut or whore, or, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you and I care for you and I want you and I need you.
Yeah.
I was getting called that, like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're stunning, and I thought, like, so I don't need to work for that attention.
Yeah.
I don't need to pretend. I can be myself and people love me for me.
Mm.
So I was heavily using intravenously then.
Yeah.
I was probably using about 3 to 4 points a day. And I thought it was under control because I was earning all that money from work.
Yeah.
So I left Footscray. I started working again.
Yep.
I used to say to my family that I was working at a cafe, and then it turned into a bar. So from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. it was a cafe, and then 4 p.m. till 2 a.m. it was a bar.
Long hours.
Yeah, long hours. How could you do that with no break?
Yeah.
Gear, drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it was just another lie.
Yeah.
Another thing to let me get away with what I want to do.
Mm.
You know, I want to be independent, but I also want that care and that love.
Yeah.
But I never knew what it was, and I never knew how to express love.
Yep.
Or that care, or even for myself. And then that person that I met, that person really took me on my first earn. And I didn't do it before, you know, but I've shoplift, yes, when I was younger in high school and stuff like that. And I used to take money from my mum's purse and all that, but all those sort of things. But I never stolen from someone's house.
Yeah.
And
So how did that look?
It looked that I came out to court with 17 charges against me. I've never been in the system before. I've never had any priors. I've never had any trouble with the law. Like I was good.
So you started doing crime.
Yeah. Because that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he had the drugs and he had the money and he had that love.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. The money, the drugs, the thrill, the adrenaline, drugs, sex go hand in hand. And I was happy if I had just drugs.
Yeah.
Didn't even want the sex, to be honest. Like, I did, but I want to make sure that you give me the drugs first.
Yeah.
Because that's what I actually was. The drugs is who I was actually dating, not him. I wasn't seeing him. I was seeing the drugs. What was in his pocket? And I was I was bailed, and then I reoffended while on bail, and I wasn't allowed to contact. I was the perpetrator and he was the victim in the court hearing.
Really?
Yeah, because I was the one.
So you weren't the accomplice.
No, I was.
You were the main perp.
Yeah. And
how so?
Because I was the one that took the fall.
As in got caught or got blamed?
I got blamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he pointed the finger at you.
Yeah.
Some sort of love story.
Oh, it's so romantic, it needed to be there. So I took the rap for it.
Yep.
Luckily I was no convictions, no charge, just a good behaviour bond for 18 months. Thank God, because honestly, like, I'm not religious when I say that, but like I could have been dead a long time ago. Stuff that I put myself through that I thought it was love. Now looking back, like, I want to do everything differently, but I still remember to this day the judge, it was a girl, and I'm like, oh fuck, you always like one or the other, and she goes, I don't want to see you in my courtroom here again. I go, Your Honour, you're not going to, and if you do, the next time I'll be representing a client, She goes, I hope so, and I did the KISS program. I did all that sort of stuff. I was using in that work I knew, but I was just trying. I was scared. Yeah. I was so fearful. I remember that high school took us to Frankston Maggies for magistrates,
Yeah.
for like one of the classes to see what people are like, and the courtrooms, and I was like, and I went to Moorabbin, and I just broke down in tears. I was scared.
Yeah.
But my parents, I didn't tell my parents.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
They didn't know that
They
you
did
were
not
under
know.
charges. Yeah.
Oh no, they did, because the coppers went to their house.
Yeah.
And asked if I was there, and that's how they found out.
Yeah.
But no, didn't tell them anything.
Mm.
And I had an AOD worker, and my AOD worker, I remembered in that interview, I said no comment to her, not even an interview, just a catch up like we're doing today.
Yeah.
I said no comment. She goes, Amber, you don't need to say that to me.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going to get, it's not recorded. You're not going to get charged, anything like that. It's simply, you can learn to trust. And in that moment, I was like, wow, like someone, a female, an older woman can see me for me and know that I'm struggling. I lied to her. I said I wasn't using, and I was, or I just had a shot, and like she didn't care. Not that she didn't care. Obviously, she probably did. But she understood. She didn't judge. That's where the core component is. She didn't judge.
Yeah.
And I still speak to her today. I tell her every year, every milestone, hey, I'm this, I'm this.
Yeah.
And like, to someone to get into recovery at 19 and a half, it's probably 1-2%.
Yeah.
And to stay clean is that 1-2%.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things. I've known you for a little while, but I never knew any of this stuff that we're speaking about today.
No.
So thank you for sharing. I feel really privileged. But one of the things that always jumped off the page at me about you is that, being so young, but also you have an emotional intelligence about you that is wiser beyond your years. So when you said the other day how old you were, I was completely blown away. I actually thought you were older than what you are.
True.
Spring chicken.
Yeah.
So you should be really proud of yourself. And also, people will listen to this story, and there's no doubt that people will be touched by it, and it will help people. So thank you.
That's okay.
For sharing. All right. Tell us about how you did get clean.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
There's no I had a miracle. I did it for a cheaper court sentence. I did it because it would look good on the court report. I did it because the drugs were too expensive. I was using about maybe 5 points a go. So I'd fill up a needle, use, pull out, put another one in, bang, 5 points.
Wow.
So I was using that in a year and a half because it worked so good.
Yeah.
But I needed more.
Yeah.
Because if
How much is that costing you?
A gram was basically about 600.
Yeah.
So I started off doing that for a week.
Yeah.
And 600, a gram would last me a week.
Yes.
So I was basically coughing up 1,200 every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it was okay because in this Monday baggie, I'd have a little bit of gear, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it would have different gear.
Yeah.
And then so it was organized, and then I had the money set out, and I had a plan.
You really did that, you were meal prepping. But
yeah, so I was meal prepping. Yeah, I used to say I was on the M&W water, the meth and water, 40 units of water, and that was about it, and and I joke about it and see how excited I get about it is because I'm still obsessed.
Yeah.
I have never ever lost the desire to stop using because the desire of using will always be there.
Yeah.
I need to learn to just not let it shush, put it down, because I'm an addict.
Yeah.
But I'm in recovery and I've got a disease that wants to kill me. I get excited over the fact of how much I was using and how much I was manipulating myself to think that I'm not using as much if it's in different bags and it's organized. Yeah. But by the time I opened Monday, I was already on Friday.
Yeah.
Because I just use it all. because I'm greedy. I can't have one fucking Tim Tam
Yeah.
without having another one because I love the craving of sugar.
Yeah.
I can't just go and, talk to someone or have sex once and leave because I'm addicted.
Yeah.
But I got to learn that I can't live like that anymore.
Mm.
I can't have, I started off dyeing my hair just the fringe and then in the front part of it. And then it started the back of my head. And now we've got a full head of blue hair. So we actually can't,
Yeah.
we can't do
Can't
things.
moderate.
We can't moderate.
Mm.
My moderation is everything and more.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm that Augustus Gloop from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
Yeah.
just eating and eating and eating. But also Veruca is like, Daddy, I want a golden goose. I want it now.
Mm.
I already wanted things yesterday,
Yeah.
but I can't because I'm not God.
Mm.
I'm not in control. And I got to actually do it on life's terms. And the 12-step fellowship have helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And it has, and it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm here today. I'm not in jail. I'm not, I'm not selling myself anymore. I'm not selling myself to the disease either of addiction. And that's as much as you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just sex and drugs that I'm affected by.
It's in everything.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
It's one's too many, a thousand's never enough. I can budget really well when I don't have money. Yeah, and I say that
I feel you.
Yeah, because when I've got money, I think I'm living large.
Yeah.
Until another week, and I've got nothing to show for it. Yes, I've got a lot of packages probably from online shopping, and my self-care is really good for a week, but it's all materialistic, and that comes from childhood.
Yeah.
I can't sit with myself because when I'm by myself, I'm scared because what might happen.
Yeah.
And with using, that was my best friends, my boyfriends, my parents, my shield, my savior. It was my life.
Yeah.
And I was happy to continue to do it.
So why did you stop?
Because every time that I would use before, having that rituals and, mulling up and all that sort of stuff and having those same routine structure, I'd start crying. First of all, would wipe the tears because I wouldn't be able to see my veins. I'd wipe the tears away. I'd pull out and I'd start crying again. And it got to the point where I realized since doing 12-step recovery and in the fellowship that I was using against my will. And it goes to that, what I was saying about the court. I did detox because it was so expensive. So I did it for a week. I was like, you want me to, it will look better, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Besting it. Yeah. Fuck, true? Holy shit.
Got her.
Yeah. You're pretty good, man. Wow. Yes, that is correct. Good job.
And did you go to a facility or to stay clean?
Not after the detox, no.
No. So you did the detox.
I did the detox for a week at a youth one in Coburg.
Yep.
And I asked them for a fit pack. And I left with my fit pack, went to my dealer's house and said, I've not used for a week. Are you proud of me? I said, and I gave him my bag of needles, like I to keep for me. So I didn't want to return when I got out.
Yeah.
And I used. But it was on my terms. And
that's insane.
Oh, tell me about it. I say it now and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I smile because I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But I don't know how to regulate my emotions. I'm sharing this is because I'm probably going to start crying. But I need to let people see, let strangers see who I actually am.
Yeah.
So then I learn who I am. But I did that week and 2 days, the next day or 2 days later, I used again, and I started crying. That same crying of the unmanageability. and the powerlessness because I didn't understand. Why did I pick up? I should go to a detox and not have the cravings or the psychological or the dreams or the manifestations or the smells or the tastes, of the drugs actually, and the visuals and the trauma and the nightmares. And, I was still in drug-induced psychosis. Like I was still seeing the shadow people, the shadow ninjas, all that sort of stuff, the coppers. And I realized that it's because I have a disease.
Yeah.
I go to detox. I shouldn't be thinking about this. I should be gone.
Yeah.
So why do I keep manifest? Why do I still crave it? Why is it still there? Is it because it can never go? I just got to learn to put it aside for a moment.
Yeah.
And that takes time. That takes practice too.
Yeah. So when did you last use?
21st of November, 2022.
And how did that look?
I went back to the same detox. I called my AOD worker first and I go, look, get me into a place now.
Yep.
I did a pros and cons list with my dealer.
Yep.
If I should go to rehab or not.
Inventory.
Oh, fuck. That's funny. I remember it hasn't got me for a while. Like, how insane is that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon they're different pros and cons for you as they are to your dealer as well.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't want me to go. I was the best customer.
Yeah, exactly right.
But that's the thing. He did. He actually wanted me to go.
Yeah, right.
And I had a really good relationship with him.
Yeah.
God's will, I hope he sees this. I nothing ever bad. He always wanted, and I will say this to the end of the day, I always thought that he wanted the best for me. And my AOD worker goes, yeah, he if he did, he'd stop selling to you. And I've got the message on my phone still of him. I've blocked his number and all that, but I got a message on saying that take care, I gotta go. This is me. Take care, I gotta go, but I hope you're well. Thank you for being there, and I hope the best in your life. And he messaged back saying, yeah, you too, take care. I'm proud of you for doing this. I hope I don't see you. Or something along those lines.
What a lovely drug dealer person.
Well, that's the thing, though, is because there's so many people with bad experiences, but he got me out of so much stuff. But probably because of that loyal customer. I don't know, but I always saw it as a friendship, never as a transactional relationship. But yeah, I did the pros and cons list with him, and I ended up going and calling my AOD worker, and I stopped off before when they called to book me in, and I was out the place of my dealer's house, and I'm screaming, and I was about to use, and I got a phone call and I answered. I was like, yes, bang, used to celebrate, and I felt happy though, because I was committed. That was I'm done, On the 20th of November, 2022, I used everything. Absolutely everything. I got rid of all the paraphernalia. On the 21st of November, 2022, the next day I rocked up to detox withdrawing already because I did not use on that day.
Yeah.
So that's why it's my clean time.
Yeah.
If I used on the 21st and then, went to detox on the 21st, no, I'm clean on the 22nd, So that's why I say that I'm clean on the 21st, because I didn't use at all.
Yep.
My AOD worker picked me up. She threw out everything else that I had, and I started the journey.
So you surrendered?
I surrendered. I surrendered to the fact that I cannot do this by myself.
Yeah.
That independence that I thought that I've always wanted in childhood, that I've just realized as I said those words now, I never had.
Yeah.
I never knew what independence was because I've always relying on people, loving me for me, supposedly, or how I look. So in, family giving me money, that's how you get love, and people's attention. And I wrote a letter, like a contract, to the detox, and I said, if I want to leave, do not let me, even though you have to. By law, you can't keep me here. Do not let me go. And I signed it, and they signed it.
Yeah.
Because I was done.
Yep.
Because I knew I could leave at any moment. It's a voluntary program.
Yeah.
I went back to the same detox and same people there, and I didn't get a fit pack this time. I had rehab lined up, and I started my 4 months at that rehab.
So you did a 4-month stint.
I did a 4-month stint, yeah. And I was the youngest. What a surprise. So I was rocking up there as a 19-and-a-half-year-old. I was in rehab for. Because in those 4 months, I realized that I used every day. I used a lot every day. The rehab probably didn't even know how much I did use of the detox because I underevaluated.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to know how much I was actually using, because what if I wasn't accepted?
Yeah.
That's risky, and that's how I could potentially die if I don't get into detox.
What did you learn in rehab?
That I don't need to use every day. That I don't need to rely on things. That I learned that there's people with lived experience actually working in the industry. I can use my experience as a flex on my cover letter and on my resume, because I've been trying to hide that for so long. Why is there a gap from year 12 to now? To 3 years ago. Why is there, it doesn't add up? What happened? And now in having that experience, I realized that I can actually use my experience for experience, strength, and hope. Exactly what I'm doing here. You're not paying me. And if you were, I wouldn't be accepting it because I'd service as well. Or maybe I would, but as a donation charity I am. No, but in all fairness, I wouldn't, because it wouldn't be genuine.
It's like what you said before, there's material gain that you can get from things, but it's and I've learned, you're in my workplace at the moment, I've got a proper serious business, and 10 staff and all the rest of it. But it's the act of service stuff that fills me up, that fills my cup up and makes me walk out of here really proud of the person that I am today, and I think through telling our story and stepping into that vulnerability, it's a really powerful place, And like what you said, it's identification, and I struggled to ID ever. I used to say, I'm James, I drink too much. And now I say I'm an addict in recovery. And I'm proud of that, because I'm proud of where I've come and where I am now. And also it says that I'm a continual work in progress. I will have to keep doing the work forever, because just because I'm sober, it doesn't mean that I'm emotionally sober as well.
Yeah.
We need to keep working on that forever, day by day.
Exactly. Minute by minute sometimes.
Yeah.
I would wait and look at my phone and the time and count how long, work it out. Okay, so my dealer messaged me at this time, so he's going to probably be at mine or my area at this time. And so then it's, let's say, 11 minutes. So I'm counting down 11 minutes. Sometimes I have to count up to 11 minutes.
Yeah.
When it gets really, really tough, I'm watching that clock, because I need to remind myself that a recovery is a day-to-day thing as much as using. It's 24/7. My life is 24/7 as well. And I need to learn that, like, to basically, like, it is okay. You know, I waited for the dealer, you know, as I'd get angry in the car before he'd rock up. And then as soon as he's there, I'm like, oh, like, hi, how are you? You know, I hope you're well, you're good. Thank you, you know,
Yeah.
blah, 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 bye.
Yeah.
But I was like hating on him before that drive.
Where the fuck are you?
Yeah, you know, well, you said you'd be here fucking 2
what's
hours
going
ago,
on?
you know,
Yeah.
and
Not the most reliable people, drug dealers, in terms of time.
no, yeah, especially crack time is like
Yeah.
2 to 3 business days plus
Crack time.
yeah, another week. But it's because he had what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I did not care. People pleasing, I guess.
Yeah. Tell us about how your recovery looks now, Amber.
So I just celebrated my 3 years clean.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually had the pleasure and honour of sharing our milestones together.
I know.
Which was
and
really beautiful.
Congratulations on your 2 years.
No, thank you. I'm chasing in the footsteps of greatness.
Oh, that's be careful. My defect of ego might like that. Might like you, you know.
But yeah. But you know, like, actually, sorry, just on that, it was a real honour to do so, because I've realised in recovery that, and you touched on this before, that it's not about us anymore. It's about we and our program. Like, I now say that I wouldn't be where I am without all the other people in the rooms of the 12-step program that we're a part of. So it's very much we, not I, celebrating that milestone.
Yeah. And my recovery, it changes every day.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do what I did yesterday to keep me clean today. And I say clean, sober, abstinence, harm min. You know, for me, because I am in a 12-step fellowship, I can't disclose what what fellowship.
Yes.
But you kind of know. You know, I've dropped a fair few words that you know. And I think, you know, I used to, and to touch on what you said, I used to say, hi, I'm Amber, I've got a problem and I'm clean today. But I just used out in the car park. Because I came into meetings, I wanted the pain to stop and the trauma and the abuse, but I didn't want to stop using. Because it wasn't the drugs. It was everything else. You, the environment, the type of batch of gear it was. It was the system. It wasn't me or the drugs. And then it started becoming me. It's my fault. I need the drugs more. And I come into a meeting where everyone else, they looked a lot older than me. I will say that, because I obviously was coming in at 19 and a half then. And they had the same stories as me. It doesn't discriminate. And in my recovery, I have to learn that, you know, if people say they don't judge, they're judging in that comment of just saying they don't judge. And I find it hilarious when people go, oh, no, I don't gossip or judge. But I learned from my experience that even listening to the gossip is gossiping. But that goes on to what I was also just saying. We skipped a little part. But after those 4 months rehab, I did another 5 months somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I did 9 months of rehab. That's why I missed all those holidays.
Yep.
Plus a 13 weeks of day hab.
Okay.
So I needed that. I needed a long time because I used every day. But for my recovery, I try to do at least 4 to 5 meetings face to face a week.
Yeah. Wow.
I've started doing online meetings in Florida, which is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not traveling there. It's online. It's online on Zoom, and they're lovely. I love their accent. You know, I remember there was ones that were like, "Hallelujah, praise the Lord," and it's like, but guess what? I pulled that face. You know, if it was a bad batch of gear, I'd pull that face. You know, and I'd find more.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to say to people. You know, I'll ask you a question like, what did you do if the drugs were shit? Like, you're using the shit. What would you do?
Use more.
You'd finish it
Find
though.
alternatives.
Yeah. So why the fuck won't you do that with a meeting?
Yeah.
You find a shit meeting, don't just go, nah, no more meetings. Don't like recovery. Abstinence doesn't work for me. It's all that sort of that negative sort of talk. Go find another one.
Yeah.
And just keep doing it. It's the exact same as drugs. Instead of calling the dealer, you call in your sponsor, you call in a trusted person, another person that understands the helpline, the fellowship helpline. That's what I'm more talking about. But my recovery isn't just about, I was about to say, where the fellowship.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Yeah.
That's
It's not about substance.
no.
No. It's an everything program.
It's a me program.
Yeah.
Because I am the problem. If drugs was the solution, what was the problem? Me. My brain, my thinking, my thoughts want to kill me. My thoughts are in my voice. They think that I'm good and I'm okay and I've got my shit under control. Then why am I still in recovery? Why do I have those cravings? Why do I get excited when I talk about substances?
Yeah.
Is because I've got a disease.
Yeah.
It is incurable, progressive, and fatal. Unless arrested. And that means going to meetings for me.
Yeah.
Arrested means looking at myself, doing this, doing service. I'm calling my sponsor every morning not because I'm struggling or anything, but it's because I used to call her when I was only struggling. So now I have to call her I want to, not have to. I want to. I've heard people say, when do you stop going to meetings? When you don't, when you actually want to go.
Do you get love and validation and kindness without condition in those rooms?
I realized that, unfortunately, the traits that I've grown up with, the behaviors that I've seen and grown up with, I've got those traits.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. And that's why I said I'm not a victim to anything that I'm about to say. It was very conditional.
Yeah.
I'll be that nice Amber where I do no harm by you. I appreciate you. I'll do so much service, so you think that I'm committed and outgoing and passionate and driven, and it was all a facade.
Yeah.
But yes, it did keep me clean. But now it was all conditional.
Yep.
Now I'm talking to a boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look out.
I know. I should have learned my lesson. No. And it's good. And it's challenging because I want to run. I want them, if they like me, I like me. If I don't like me, well, then, that's going to scare them away and all that. And I can't do those behaviors anymore. It doesn't work.
You've got to navigate these things in recovery on life's terms.
Yeah. Because, however, I do want to be a 22-year-old, I want to have that fun socializations. I live in a recovery house.
Yep.
I also can't say what place, but I live with 4 other females, and I've been to a rave with one of the housemates.
Hey.
I'm going to a rave in February with the same girl.
Yeah.
And it's because that's what I want to do. I've been overseas 3 times this year, one to the Bali convention. I've been, an organisation sent me to Brisbane for a mental health conference. I've just done the 20 Talk challenge, I've done things, I'm allowed to leave the country today. They look at my name and I just smile and wave, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave type thing, because they can't do anything now.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a fellowship, because I'm actually getting the help I need. I can't tell people to stop using or to only use a little bit or to, reduce or harm minimization or anything like that. If that works for you, cool. If it works and you like it and it's not hurting you or other people, cool. I'm not in control now. That's what I've just realized, that I'm not actually in control of people, places, and things.
Yeah.
That's a bit challenging though, because I
Mm,
like control, because I feel safe. Because if I'm in control, no, nothing can hurt me.
mm,
But then in me being in control can hurt me.
mm.
And in my recovery, I'm learning what self-care is. It's not just putting a face mask on.
Yeah,
Sometimes it is sitting in a square, 2 meter by 2 meter square for 2 hours, not talking to people,
yeah,
not having my phone, not having a watch, relying on a gong every hour
yeah.
to tell me what time it is,
Mhm.
to have no nicotine. Yes, unfortunately, not unfortunately, I still use nicotine products. I actually use three because I am a addict.
Yeah.
Ooh. But I didn't have that for 20 hours either.
Yeah.
And that was a challenge because I was in obsession.
Mm.
Um, but I'm doing all these things in my recovery because I want to stay alive today. I
Yeah.
want to be alive. On my 19th birthday, I said that I would not make it to my 21st birthday.
Wow.
I didn't want to. There
Mm.
was there was no hope. Why? Life was fucking miserable. Um, and I had members at my nan's house celebrating my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
And
So good.
fuck,
Would have
you
thought you
know.
never would have been there at one point, I guess.
No, not having members.
Mm.
It was always a struggle to find friends who to invite to my birthday parties,
Mm.
or not having invitations to go to other kids' birthday parties. I felt like I was just a fill-in seat,
Yeah.
just a fill a chair type invitation. Um, and the people that I hang out with today, I actually want to hang out with them today.
Yeah.
And I've realized that if people don't like me, well, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, okay.
Mm.
I like me. I'm
Yeah.
learning to like me, and I get passionate. And the fact that I've come to this peace where I don't need to pretend to have people like me,
Mm.
because I keep doing that. I keep people pleasing. I keep wondering why I'm not getting invited to places, or, if people want to do their own thing, okay. But it doesn't mean that they don't like me either. They
Mm.
just want to do their own thing. And that's what I'm talking about in this boy that I'm talking to. I found it weird that I didn't get a message from him when I turned my phone on from the 20 Talk challenge. And it's because he said that he wanted me to enjoy the experience and he didn't
Yeah.
want to distract me. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, but why didn't you?
Yeah.
And it's because I was in obsession for those 2 hours where I was like, wow. I felt that codependency kick in, like, oh my God,
Mm.
what if he realizes after these hours that he doesn't actually want to be with me? And then for the rest of the 18 hours, I was like, so what?
Yeah.
So what if he doesn't want to? So what if he's realized? I'd rather you realize now than later down the track.
Yeah.
Um, and it is just talking stages. Like, it is nice. It's slow. Something that I don't feel comfortable with, because if you get to know me, like intimacy,
Yeah.
into me, I see a scared little fucking girl that I've been my whole life, that I've had to use a substance or you speak a certain way to be liked and loved and cared for, you know.
You are a wonderful person and you are beautiful and strong and you are gorgeous. And I've really enjoyed this conversation, Amber. It's really meant a lot. And I think we should do a round two at some point.
For sure. I've only got halfway through, this is nothing.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed it, and you will inspire many others by sharing this story with them. So those acts of service continue on, and thank you. It's been a real privilege to have heard your story today.
That's okay. And anyone watching and yourself, I don't bite. I have this front, but come and say hello. Because that's what people did to me at my first meeting. They walked up to me and gave me a hug and said, I see you.
Yeah,
And not see me for the criminality that I did,
Yeah.
or for my body, or for the drugs, or for the money, or who I sort of was, or who I was hanging around with. They saw me for someone that is human and that needed help, and needed love. And that's what I get from these rooms, and that's what I get from recovery. And
Yeah.
I don't want life to be so boring and mundane, because why not go back use?
And you've got the benefit of a long time. You're only at the very start of your life, and I'm envious of that. You get a long time to be around sober, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amber.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today on Slaying Sober. If you're sober curious, in addiction, or know someone who could benefit from listening, please share this episode with them. Jump over to Instagram and say g'day at Slaying Sober Pod, and follow us on Spotify to hear the latest episodes come out. Until then, keep slaying sober.